It's a blast! Eye-popping special effects. This ain't no game. This is a live-action thrill ride.
What were you just watching?
Wow, you guys got some nerve to put those quotes in, didn't ya? Yo, what is up, my Cinedroids? G to the S here. Today, I'm gonna be reviewing one of the most hated movies, not just by critics and audiences, but also fans who grew up with the franchise. Starring both the late Bob Hoskins as Mario, and the voice of Sid from Ice Age, John Leguizamo as his brother Luigi, in the 1993 cinematic disaster known as Super Mario Bros. The movie. The movie that I found on VHS or Mercari for about 40 bucks on sale. Man, that was for sure a waste of money, ain't it? But anyways, if you guys really care about what this monstrosity is about, fine. It's about a couple Brooklyn plumbers that I don't even need to say their names, but they're both played by Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo, as I said before. But they get the shock of their lives as they discover a parallel world populated by the intelligent descendants of dinosaurs. It seems they weren't destroyed by the meteor millions of years ago, but hurled to another dimension, and now they have plans to rule our world. Surprise, surprise. It's up to our unlikely heroes to battle the evil King Koopa, played by the late Dennis Hopper, and his Goomba guards, free the beautiful Princess Daisy, played by Samantha Mathis, and save mankind in this adventure of a lifetime. Said no one ever. Again, I'll discuss about how they executed the characters from the game in a bit. But for now, let's tear this movie into a new butthole, shall we? First off, when it comes to the film's use of practical effects and CGI visuals, it looks horrible. Even when I watched it on VHS just recently, it looks even worse. Like the way they created this effect of a dimensional portal by going through a stone wall in a sewer, or the way they showed the CG effect of Goof falling on the ground to give the effect that King Koopa is defeated by the end of the film, if you would even call it a film to begin with. Or even when they showed the effect of the characters de-evolving into other creatures. It also looks nightmarish, but in the worst way possible. Trust me when I say this, there's no way they can save it from fixing everything. The movie was already released to the public. It got universally panned by critics and audiences alike. It's nowhere to be found on streaming, or if you could even rent it or buy it on digital. The only way you can find this movie is on a physical copy. But even that's rare to find, because they don't sell it on the shelves of Walmart, Best Buy, Target, Sam's Club, or any other retail store that has it. The only online retail stores that sell it are Mercari, eBay, or any other store that's not those retail stores that I just mentioned that sells this movie on a physical copy. That's it. So that goes to show you that the people who made this movie don't even care about the source material, and they're proud that they don't know the actual games and that they haven't even played them. So that's a real red flag right there. The story felt nothing like the games. The characters don't even look like the characters from the games. They look like bootlegged versions of those characters, but melded into live action, which is even worse. Their character development was non-existent, meaning they go on one wild goose chase to save the princess, but in all the wrong ways. Basically, in terms of the film's execution, the way that they adapted the games into this movie was poorly done. Also, going back to the film's character development, the way that this movie incorporated their use of a blooming romance between Luigi and Daisy, in terms of the movie's dramatic and emotional moments, I never felt a romantic spark between them. All they do is just look at each other, and they portray it as a teenage high school rom-com just thrown in there just for the hell of it. You don't do that in a movie like Super Mario Bros. Just make the romance subtle, and a way to show emotional conflicts between the characters. That's also another main reason that they tried to chuck this movie in the trash, so that way they don't get embarrassed. And also, when it comes to the direction coaching from two people who go by their names Annabelle Jankel and Rocky Morton, why did Hollywood pick these two idiots to direct the actors and actresses in this movie? They all have wooden and terrible performances as the characters they're supposed to be portraying. Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo were horribly miscast as Mario and Luigi. They don't sound like the ones from the games. Samantha Mathis was a terrible Princess Daisy. Dennis Hopper, may he rest in peace, but he was a disastrous King Koopa. Even the late Mojo Nixon does a horrible Toad, and he's only in it just to say a few occasional lines and then be transformed as a Goomba throughout the rest of the movie, not saying a single word. Wow, you you completely butchered the character of Toad from the game. Big time. Even the comedy in this movie was eye-gougingly terrible. The jokes in the movie never landed at all. Again, what were these guys thinking when they said to themselves, hey, you know what would be funny? Let's make Super Mario Brothers a live-action comedy, but let's make the jokes super annoying, full of hip-hop lingo that everybody won't get. That's what makes comedy gold. Yeah, look how it turned out. Sucked the joy throughout the whole film, didn't ya? Now, the only positives that I will say about this movie is that the sets and the camera work look decent. And plus, I didn't even know that the set design for this film was also made by the set designer who did the sets for the movie Blade Runner. Not Blade Runner 2049, the original Blade Runner. I honestly did not know that. But that still does not benefit this movie in any way, shape, or form. It still does not save this movie from becoming a complete epic fail that this film already deserved. In the end, I wholeheartedly agree with the mass population about the 1993 Super Mario Bros. Movie. It's as worse as people say it is. The acting was atrocious, the effects were garbage, the story was non-existent, and the overall adaptation of the classic Nintendo games was sadly butchered and severed limb from limb. The only tiny saving graces for this movie was the camera work and the set design. That's it. But it still does not change the fact that this movie was the main reason nobody remembers it afterwards. And as a result, I rate the 1993 Super Mario Bros. Movie, and I demand a refund rating. I mean, you can watch this movie with a group of friends and have some laughs out of it, but for a movie to watch by yourself with no one around you, it's a pretty sad experience. Either way, stay away from this movie at all costs. Burn it at the stake if you have to. But don't waste your time and your money on this monstrosity, ever. Please, I beg of thee. So the 1993 Super Mario Bros. Movie. You've seen it, right? Well, let me know in the comments, what's a video game based movie that you thought was the most atrocious Hollywood has ever produced? I love to hear what you guys can come up with down below in the comments. Go wild and get creative. But if you guys like this video and you want to see some more, make sure that like button shines in your face. That'll totally help me out a ton. Also, share it with your family and friends and favorite it. That's a very good way to show support for this review. Also, if you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell right next to you so you can be notified of future videos I have in store for you. Also, if you want a shout out in a future video, just follow me on my Instagram page and I will choose one of my Cinedroids to be displayed as a shout out. The link's in the description below. Also, you guys don't have to do this if you don't want to. I understand. But if there's a rare chance that you are interested in doing so, there's a little join button down below the video, just right next to the subscribe button. Or if you guys are watching it on an Apple device, be it iPhone, iPad, or whatever it is that you're using, there'll be a link in the description so that way it can make it easier for you. But either way, if you click on the link or the button below, not only will you join my YouTube membership program, but you'll also have access to loyalty badges, custom-made emojis that I created for myself, week early access to future reviews, and a special shout out from yours truly. So if you guys want to be mentioned in a video, just click on the link or the button below and become a member. It doesn't cost you much. It only costs about $2.99 a month to join. So make sure you click on the link on the button and become an OG Cinedroid in no time. Also, I set up a Patreon page for you guys to check out as well. There'll also be a link in the description so that way you can visit my page and gain access to up to 4 membership tiers. On my page, I post nerdy fan polls, book audio reviews, and I'm planning to do movie/TV show episode reactions, both audio and visual, on my page as well, uncut and full length. So if that's your cup of tea, if you guys are interested, go to the link below, become a patron, and let's get to know each other a bit more. Also, if you want to subscribe to my gaming channel, there's either a link in the description or at the icon card at the top right corner of your screen. Go over there, subscribe, and let's just have fun together. Also, if you want to subscribe to my GS Productions After Dark channel where I review movies, TV shows, and video games that are strictly not for families, there'll also be a link in the description so that way you can check out that channel if you're feeling frisky. But until then, I'll see you next time. Peace out.